Thunder are a little more battle-tested. The Spurs have the experience, and I think whenever you think about it, these two teams match up very well because you've got a team in San Antonio that's very strategic, very precise and concise, very, thinks laterally, thinks about the three, think about, the pick and roll, layups, everything like that. They're not a flashy team. They're like one of the biggest fans there is of the Spurs, and I can tell they're a boring team. They're a boring team sometimes because of the way they play, but it's their style that's boring. Their coach is notorious for his in-game interviews, but they're hilarious because they're so short and because they're boring. But at the same time, that's what makes them them. The Spurs have been winning for the last 15, 16 years because of that style of they're not going to be flashy. Big guys aren't going to score a lot. Everybody's going to have to take their turn and be a part of it. And that's what really has won them championships 4 times since the 1999 year. Then you got the Thunder, top heavy. Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant. Other than that, and you really don't have much except Serge Ibaka, who unfortunately will not play with a calf injury. It's funny because I got the update on my phone whenever I was, out with my friends last night, and it told me Ibaka was not going to play in the series because of a calf injury, and I'm actually kind of upset about that. And the reason why is because, you hate to see guys get injured at that stage. You hate to see it. But I do believe it's going to have a major impact in this series for the simple fact that it's going to be awfully tough, to make up for the points Ibaka accounted for. Because if you look at what he was doing, in the regular season, during the postseason, I should say, 12.2 points per game, shooting 61.6%. He averaged 7.3 rebounds and 2.23 blocks. And he was playing 33.9 minutes. Those are official statistics. If anything, his loss is so big because it really impacts the ability for the Thunder to play offense and defense because he's such a good player on offense, but at the same time he's such a force on defense. This is a big blow for this basketball team. Why did I say hockey team? I don't know. Probably my next segment. But I will have to say that I think even with the injury to Serge Ibaka, I'd be picking the Spurs. Without him, it's almost a guarantee that I think that the Spurs will take him out. Because here's why the Spurs are the better team right now. A little more rested. Their confidence is an all-time high. You have to be honest, Thunder fans, that during the series against the Clippers, you were the beneficiaries of some very generous calls from the officials. You have to admit it. Like the fouls on Chris Paul, the ones on Blake Griffin in Game 6, Paul I think in Game 5, in the turnover controversy. Say what you want, but yeah, you guys were the beneficiaries of some calls. Now I'm not saying that would have automatically ended the game or the Tony Romo curse, but that's a whole different can of worms anyway. My opinion is that the Spurs right now are playing better basketball. I think if you compare this to the 2012 matchup, the Thunder, I thought, were a little bit too young and too quick and athletic. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think that the Spurs now have enough depth and have enough youth on their team to counteract the youth and athleticism of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Derek Fisher, I believe, was there for that series, and that was a veteran experience. The Thunder haven't been this far in the playoffs since they got the finals in 2012. We saw last year what happened if you take out a big piece of that offense. Russell Westbrook went down in the first round of the playoffs last year, and the Thunder were just destroyed by the Grizzlies, who in turn got destroyed by the Spurs. Losing a huge cog in that huge part of that team, I think, is going to be really tough to overcome. I like the San Antonio Spurs to win in 6 games as well. It's kind of funny because I've been talking a lot of 6s in my previews, but yeah, I just think that 6 games, actually maybe even 5. I'm going to say 6 because I see the Thunder winning a couple games without Ibaka, probably a couple at home, but going into San Antonio without Serge Ibaka against that team that's playing that well at home and it's playing that good offensively and defensively and is starting to fire on all cylinders, that is just such a tough ask for anybody. I have to say the X factors in this series are probably Russell Westbrook for the Thunder, and again Ginobili for the Spurs. Ginobili's got to hit his threes, and he's got to get inside and get some layups. And on the other side, if you want to counteract that, if Kevin Durant isn't scoring much in a game, for example, Westbrook, you got to step up too. Again, I already said Durant's got to step up, but you got to step up too, because you've been guilty in your career. When the Thunder have lost, you've taken a lot of criticism, and justifiably, because you've not produced in the big moments, and you've got to learn to do that. So to top it off, I predicted the Heat will take out the Pacers in 6, and the Thunder will take out... Actually, no, the Spurs will take out the Thunder in 6. That is for my NBA preview. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'll be back very shortly with my NHL conference final previews. I know Game 1 is already in the books, and the Canadiens have fallen to the Rangers 7-2. This is opinion that I had completely before this. I did not feature this. I've not had that game in my mind at all. So I'll try to be as unbiased as I can. All right. See you guys. Be right back.